This guy has befriended 2 giant bears, but it's not as cool as it sounds. The bears always bring problems and mishaps. Things really get out of hand when they follow a scientist to find their long-lost mother. Vick is a poor guy who is always looking for a way to earn lots of money, but his luck does not cooperate. His best friends aren't humans, but 2 giant bear siblings named Briar and Bramble. Briar is strong and mature, while Bramble is naive and clumsy. Regardless of their different nature, they give their best while working in a team. They seem to be carefree right now, but the bear siblings have a bitter past. While they were kids, they lived in a forest with their mother and played together all day. When they got tired, they gathered near their mother and loved hearing her stories. Briar noticed the stone necklace around his mother's neck and asked why she always kept wearing it. The mother revealed that the necklace represents their family. Briar is the star and Bramble is the moon, while the stone is their mother who protects them. After the story, the kids went to sleep. In the middle of the night, they heard a loud noise and woke up. The mother told Briar to look after his brother till she comes back. Briar still followed his mother and reached a building on fire. He noticed his mother and asked him to come back, but surprisingly, she walked away without saying a word. It's been several years since that incident, and the bears have grown up, but they never forgot their mother. Briar often visits the tree where their mother used to tell them stories. Though the bears have learned to survive by themselves, Briar still wants to know the reason for his mother's departure. On the other hand, Bramble still believes that his mother will return for him, and he will be able to hug her again. Briar asks him to move on and enjoy his life with Vick. Today he is going to take them to a cool robot exhibition, but the bears have to pretend to be robots so they can get an entry pass. They wear the metallic costume and get inside the bus. After a while, Vick stops the bus in the middle of the forest because he has to pick up a passenger. She booked the ride online, so Vick does not know about her identity. His jaw drops when he realizes that the passenger is actually a young famous scientist, Professor Sulo. Vick gets really excited to meet her and lies that he is a robot scientist too. When Sulo asks about his inventions, Vick shows Briar and Bramble and calls them robots. Sulo believes him, and they travel to Zhengxing Island, which has the world's best robot research and development center. Recently, in the center, another new series of robots is introduced called the Yunliang robots. They can work in a professional field and fulfill house chores as well. Beside that, the research center is known for the talented scientist Professor Donghai. He has spent several years producing the most advanced intelligent robot called Wanning 1. Unlike other robots, Wanning 1 is equipped with an intelligence chip and does everything more efficiently. As Vick and the bears enter the exhibition, they get amazed to see Wanning 1 robots performing different tasks like fixing cars, playing music and games, making unique hairstyles in seconds, and even selling cakes. Suddenly, the cake robot starts throwing cakes here and there and almost injures some of the guests. Briar jumps in to protect the kids while Sulo rushes to debug the robot. She hacks into the robot program and starts fixing the code. Professor Donghai reaches there too and helps Sulo in fixing the robot. After hearing Sulo's name, he immediately recognizes her as she is the daughter of a famous scientist, Professor Su. She also worked in robotics and was one of the most authorized experts. Unfortunately, she suddenly died in an accident. Therefore, Sulo joined the exhibition to publish her mother's research. Vick interrupts them to return Sulo's bag, which she dropped in a rush. Some of her belongings fall down, and the bear notices a stone necklace. It's the same one their mother used to wear. The bears were about to ask about the necklace, but the light suddenly went off. Afterward, an army of robots marches inside the exhibition. Their master, Nanyang, orders them to find Professor Sulo. The robots start scanning each person and finally spot Sulo, but the bears save her. They all get on the bus and drive out of the research center. Seeing this, the most powerful member of the robot army, Ironclad, goes after the bus. Vick takes his vehicle into the sea and operates the ship mode, but Ironclad breaks into the bus and pulls off the steering wheel. Vick can't control the bus anymore, and they all glide towards the deadly sea waves that wash them off to a random island. When the bears wake up, they find themselves trapped in the middle of iron junk. The island is full of wrecked ships because Nanyang has been attacking and damaging ships for a long time. This place is like Nanyang's territory. Professor Donghai has reached here too, and he advises everyone to follow the light to find an escape. The bears finally get a chance to talk and reveal their true identity. Afterward, they start asking Sulo about the stone necklace. Sulo agrees that the necklace belongs to Mama Bear. She is really happy to finally meet Mama Bear's lost kids. Before Sulo can give them more details, Ironclad reaches the island too and tries to catch Sulo. While running away from the robot, the bears get separated from their friends. Briar fights the robot bravely and pulls off its helmet. His jaw drops when he realizes that under the armor, it was his mother. Bramble gets really excited and runs to hug his mother. But Ironclad stops him and says that she is not anyone's mother. Briar gets really angry because his mother left them all of a sudden, and now she is refusing to accept them. Suddenly, Ironclad walks into the light and Briar notices the white fur. This can't be his mother. Ironclad pulls out her tracker to look for Sulo, but Briar snatches the tracker and throws it towards Bramble. He mistakes it for a chocolate ball and eats it. The tracker can still be heard from Bramble's stomach, so Ironclad orders him to stay with her. Bramble gladly agreed because he still thinks Ironclad is their mother, but Briar keeps trying to run away from her. He tries multiple times to escape with his brother, but Ironclad catches them every time. While looking for food, Bramble notices something shiny and rushes to pick it up. Suddenly, the containers above him slip and fall down. Briar fails to rescue his brother, but luckily Ironclad saves him. She advises Briar to stay closer to his brother if he really wants to protect him. Meanwhile, Bramble still thinks that Ironclad is their mother and he gives her a shiny stone. Ironclad throws it away and continues looking for Sulo. She asks the bears to be more careful as the island also has robot dogs guarding the territory. As she says that, a few robot dogs attack them out of nowhere. Briar and Ironclad fight the dogs while Bramble is protected by both of them. He eventually trips over and falls down. The tracker gets out of his stomach and Ironclad takes it back. She goes to a corner and calls her master, Nanyang. Briar is listening to her conversation secretly and gets to know that Ironclad's son is kidnapped by Nanyang, who is forcing her to catch Sulo. Briar feels sorry for her, but Ironclad asks him to stay away from her matter. The bears continue looking for their friends and eventually find them. Before something else happens, the bears start asking Sulo about Mama Bear. Unfortunately, Sulo also has been looking for her for a long time. She believes that Mama Bear's disappearance has some relationship with Ironclad and his master. Their conversation gets interrupted as Ironclad has attacked them again. She tries to catch Sulo, but the bears protect her. Because of the intense movements, the containers under their feet start to lose balance and fall down. Ironclad risks her life to save Sulo, but Briar also jumps after her. They survive the incident but get stuck under the piles of junk. Ironclad asks Briar why he bothered to save her, and in response, Briar says that he does not want another baby bear to lose his mother. He knows it very well what happens when you have to survive without parents. Ironclad feels sorry for him and starts singing a song to comfort him. Briar gets shocked because it's the same song his mother used to sing. He turns back to ask Ironclad about the song, but suddenly everything starts to shake. Nanyang has arrived with his ship and takes away Ironclad and the professors. Briar comes out too and tells Bramble that there's still a chance that Ironclad is their mother. They must rescue her at all costs. Nanyang ties up Ironclad in a metal frame and scolds her for not following the orders properly. Sulo interrupts him to ask why Nanyang's robots have the chips invented by her mother. Is he responsible for her sudden death? Before Nanyang can reply, Vick attacks him out of nowhere. The bears reach there too and try to get Ironclad out of the frame. She starts begging Nanyang to let go of her son, but Nanyang reveals that he never had kidnapped his son. He only used a hologram to blackmail Ironclad. But unfortunately, Ironclad proved herself useless, so Nanyang gave her strong electric shocks. Briar can't see this and he risks his life to break the electric wires. It causes a huge blast and the ship is destroyed. Ironclad falls in the sea and finds the stone necklace. She starts having flashbacks of her past where she is playing with the bears. She immediately gathers strength and carries Briar and Bramble out of the water. Meanwhile, the professors are rescued by the police, and they have also captured Nanyang's ship. Currently, Nanyang is kept in the research center for investigation. Ironclad has finally recovered her memory and recognizes her kids. She feels like it's just been a few seconds and her kids grew up. Bramble keeps jumping in excitement and asks Mama Bear and Briar to accompany him to Bear Mountain. Now they are going to live there forever like a warm, happy family. Bramble wants to talk to his mother for hours, but he falls asleep because of tiredness. Briar asks Mama Bear how she changed the fur color and what accidentally happened at the burning laboratory. Mama Bear can't seem to remember anything, so Briar asks her to rest. She is fine now. That's enough. Mama Bear smiles in response and promises that she will never leave them again. Suddenly they noticed Bramble, who drifted away in the water while sleeping. When Briar goes to help him, Mama Bear notices something weird on her arm. She rushes to Professor Sulo and asks for help. After scanning her body, Sulo reveals that Mama Bear is actually a robot. Moreover, her memory files were manipulated to make her believe that she has only one child with white fur. Sulo tries to recover the memory and finds a video from the night of the fire incident. Mama Bear was trying to rescue Professor Su but got shooted by Nanyang. There's someone else involved in this crime too, and it's no other than Professor Donghai. After a while, Briar arrives at the research center to look for his mother but finds her going away with Nanyang and Professor Donghai. Mama Bear tells him to go back to the mountain as she is a robot, not their mother. Briar gets really heartbroken and says that Mama Bear left them because she can never love them like a real mother. She does not say anything in reply, and leaves. Later that night, Briar finds the stone necklace and throws it away in anger. The stone shines brightly and creates a hologram. It is actually a storage device that has a video recorded by Professor Sue. She found Briar and Bramble in the forest and took pity on them. As they were still babies, Professor Sue made a robot to take care of them. At first, Mama Bear faced difficulty in looking after the kid as she does not have any real feelings. She tried to learn from other animals and got better with time. Surprisingly, she started to get attached with the kids and refused to give them to the animal shelter. Professor Sue understood the situation and let her keep the bears. After the hologram, Briar also watches the videos on Sulo's computer. When the laboratory caught fire, Mama Bear rushed to save Professor Sue but failed. She was returning to her kids, but Nanyang caught her and joined the cables to reboot her settings. When Briar saw her leaving, she was already rebooted and didn't recognize him. Briar starts regretting his behavior, but he suddenly hears Vick screaming for help. He tells Briar that Professor Donghai is the mastermind behind all this. He has captured Sulo and also blackmailed Mama Bear by threatening to kill Bramble. Before Briar can take the next step, Bramble comes running towards him with the bomb. Briar kicks away the bomb and saves his brother. Afterward, they rush to save Sulo. They give the stone necklace to Donghai so he can let go of Sulo, but after realizing that it's just a storage device, Donghai asks Sulo to hand over her mother's latest technology. Sulo reveals that her mother didn't achieve human intelligence in robots. The motherhood in Mama Bear was just a miracle, but Donghai is ready to steal her as well, just like he has stolen all of the inventions of Professor Sue. At first, he worked hard on robots, but Professor Sue was always one step ahead of him. In jealousy, he killed her and stole all of her inventions. Donghai keeps confessing his crimes without realizing that all the research center staff can hear him. They threaten to hand him to the police, but Donghai has already prepared Plan B. Nanyang brings his ship, which transforms into a giant robot with tentacles. It shots powerful lasers that split the mountains. Mama Bear steps forward to fight, but Briar and Bramble want to help her too. They will face the danger together like a family. They try their best, but the robot is way too powerful. Luckily, Professor Sulo brings an army of wanting robots. She has reprogrammed all of them to fight against Donghai. While they distract the giant robot, Vick drives his bus and wraps a heavy chain around the robot's tentacles. Briar and Mama Bear bring the remaining tentacles of the robot to one place and ask Solu to pull the chains. The robot loses balance and destroys itself. Nanyang gets stuck under the junk and asks Donghai for help, but Donghai is still not giving up. He uses the remaining controls of the ship to put it on self-destruction mode. Afterward, he grabs an emergency boat and leaves the scene. Nanyang tells everyone that the ship will explode soon and kill everyone on the island. He does not know how to stop it and escapes the island with his jet bag. Mama Bear starts looking for a way to deactivate the destruction mode, but nothing seems to work. She realizes the danger and makes a hard decision. With Briar's help, she moves some scraps to get more control. Mama Bear asks Briar to move back and she pulls a lever. Briar gets inside the emergency boat, but he does not want to leave his mother behind. It took so many years to get her back and he can't lose her again. But Mama Bear can't put her kids at risk. She asks Briar to look after his brother and she sends him away. Afterward, she turns on the ship and gets in the sea. She plans to sacrifice herself to save the island. Briar and Bramble run into the water to stop their mother, but she has already gone far away. After a few seconds, the ship blasts into pieces along with Mama Bear. A few days have passed and the reconstruction of the research center has already started. The police have been looking for Nanyang and Professor Donghai, but there's still no clue. Vick and the bears pack their things and prepare to leave the island. Though Mama Bear was just a robot for others, but for Briar and Bramble, she was their beloved mother. They lost her twice. It seems impossible for them to recover from this incident. Seeing their condition, Professor Sulo feels really sorry for them and starts searching for the remains of the ship. She finds the damaged body of the Mama Bear and brings it to the lab. She keeps working on it for months and tries every way to fix it. Meanwhile, the bears have returned to the mountains and spend most of the time under the same tree where Mama Bear told them stories. Then one day, Professor Sulo came to meet them and also brought a surprise. The bears' eyes fill up with tears when they see their mother safe and sound. They rush to hug her and will never let her leave them ever again.